morning, Algebra 1B students. I am looking at the writing equations of lines given the graph for Mr. Fry on this December 7th. We're looking to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of each line. So remember, slope-intercept form looks like this: y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope of the line and where b is the y-intercept. Why do they use those letters? I don't know. They always have. That's just the way it is, something we have to remember. Okay, so what is slope? What does that mean? That means from point to point where you have a perfect intersection on a number, on the x-axis and the y-axis, you know, those x-y coordinates. It's the rise over the run. So from point to point, how much it goes up over how much it runs, or how much it goes horizontally. So this is your vertical difference and your horizontal difference, so the rise over the run. And remember that the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So wherever the line is crossing the y-axis, that's where we get this number right here, this b. So if it's negative, it could be a negative b or a negative y-intercept. That means it ends up crossing, you know, down here. Remember, this is your y-axis. I use number 2 as an example, and this is your x-axis always. Okay, they don't have them labeled on this sheet. We're just supposed to know that. Okay, so I'm going to do the odd ones. Go ahead and do the even ones. And if you make mistakes, as long as you learn from them, you're making progress. So here's my y-axis, here's my x-axis. And if I take a look at this line, it crosses the y-axis at 0. So I'm not going to have anything. I'm not going to have a plus or minus anything back here. The y-intercept is 0, so I'm not going to have anything back here. And so from this point, and what I was saying, you know, you got to find out where it crosses perfectly with 2 coordinates. So, you know, I would go right there. So it goes up 3 over 1. So up 3 over 1. It rises 3, and then it goes horizontally 1. So it's 3 over 1x. That's my slope. Remember, the slope goes right here. So that's why that's right there. 3 divided by 1. Any number over 1 is just itself, so I rewrote it down here, y equals 3x. That's my number 1. Okay, number 3. Let's take a look at that one. First of all, it's crossing the y-axis at -4, so I have -4 as my y-intercept. Okay, remember, this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. And then I go back and I try to find where it crosses perfectly. And so right here, it crosses perfectly at -3, -2. And then I know it crosses here too. So that means it goes down 2 over 3. So the vertical change is down 2, so it's a minus. And then the horizontal change is 3, and it goes over 3. So down 2 over 3 is my slope. So that is the equation right there. That's all you have to do. Nothing really to figure, just got to look and count. Number 5, it crosses the y-axis at 5, so my y-intercept is 5. This number would be 5 here. And then I notice that, you know, from point to point to point to point, it goes, you know, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So pick any, you know, in between the points, up 1 over 1. So that's going to be just 1 over 1, or just 1x. So, you know, you just leave it x. Y equals x plus 5. This would have been, you know, y equals, you know, 1 over 1, x equals 5, which just means 1, so that's why you just leave it. You leave it x, okay? Because there is 1x there. Makes sense. Number 7. My y-intercept is 5, so I have that back there. It's a positive 5 across the positive 5 line. And then this one was pretty far. It comes all the way down here where it crosses perfectly at coordinates -2, -2. And then it comes close here, but not really. And then it really crosses perfectly right here. So that went up 7 over 2. So the vertical change was up 7, a positive 7, and then it went horizontally 2. So up 7 over 2, and then we have the positive 5 there. So that is my equation for that one. All right, try